multi-piston caliper, 2 bleeders. It's going to have your line for your brake hose. I put a bleeder in that. I take off the crossover tube. The reason why I take out the crossover tube is so I'm only popping out the pistons on one side at a time. This gives me more control. Go to Home Depot, buy some wood, chop it down into pieces. This way you can press the pistons out and remove another one. That way you're stepping it out. These are more fragile than you think, so you don't want to damage them. Take your air, stick it in where the crossover tube goes. A little bit of air is all you really need. Now if it's frozen, you can give it more. But if it doesn't come out all the way and it's stuck, which really does happen a lot, people aren't changing their brake fluid or got water up in there. What you want to do, get a clamp, close it all the way, and that typically breaks it free. At this point, I got tension on my dust boots. This is the point when I take out my dust boots. Took a flathead screwdriver and I put a little curve on it. Forward 45 degree angle, downward motion, and it's just a twist. So you're putting it flat and you're twisting. That little twisting motion is going to lift that dust boot right up. Do one side. Once you get it, just slide underneath, pop it out, go on to your next one. Now when you're pushing down at your angle, you want to be real careful not to slip, because you can put a little gouge in your piston. And what that's going to do is it's going in and out. If you have lines and grooves in it, it's going to prematurely wear your seal. Now I don't throw these away, you want to keep them, because when you're powdering or even if you're painting, you want to remove your pistons and then clean up everything, put these back in. It's going to keep paint or powder getting in this groove right here. Now we got to step it one more. I take my blocks, I remove one, set it in, line it up. You'll hear a little pop. They come out. Your dust boot, I take a little pointer, grab the line, lift it up, fish it out with your finger. Then you go on to the next side, blocks back in, pop it out, flip it over, push your blocks out, 45 degree angle, lift your dust boot up, pull it off, save it. Now I always like to have a cardboard box underneath, because this is just messy. No matter what you're doing, it's just going to be messy. Now technically you should be wearing eyeglasses because you're going to be shooting brake fluid. We'll just say I wear eye protection. And I do this pretty instinctively because I've done a couple thousand of these. Take away a block, chalk it up, pop your pistons out, grab your tool. Now you can use a thin flathead, but I don't like to because you're going to end up scraping the inside of that cylinder wall. And I see powder coaters pitting the hell out of that, not taping it. And I mean, I've never heard somebody have complaints of it. I just think it's real crappy. So you don't want to scrape inside on the machine surface. That's it. At that point, you got to take your bleeders off. Number 11. Now how I get them off, I put it on at an angle, and these are going to be corroded on if it's been on the car for a number of years. Take your hand, firm pop it loose. Once it starts coming, it just comes right out. Now, since I do so many, I do use an impact, but if it's not coming, I don't force it or you're going to snap that bleeder in half. And that's it. Same process whether it's a 6 piston, an 8 piston, as long as it's got a crossover tube, same process.